Hello. Here we go. Just getting streaming. Just checking everything's working as per usual. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Gaz Williams Show. I'm excited to be here. I was on Sonic Talk earlier on Sonic State, the long-running podcast that I'm sure everyone knows about now. Always a thrill to be on there, and with my great pal and amazing musician, Richard Hilton, along with the superlative Nick Batt. Yes. Those guys are amazing. I am always ever so thrilled to be on the show with them. Just getting a few levels going. Okay, what are we doing today? Well, if you saw Sonic Talk, you saw me talking about this here. This is the Double Trouble from SCAT. That's Space Cat Audio Technologies. Made in Britain. It's a distortion. It's like a 2-channel distortion. And it is absolutely brilliant. I love it. I've only just started playing around with it. I think it only came today, so it's brand new to me. So I thought that's the point of this show, just going straight in at the deep end and having a look. I'm just checking out chat room. Hello, everybody. Nice to see you all there. Okay, yeah, we are most definitely in trouble. Double trouble. Okay, so why is this interesting? Well, I think it's interesting for a bunch of reasons. To all intents and purposes, it is like a guitar distortion pedal, but it's not designed for guitar. However, it sounds great with guitar. We'll do something either with guitar or bass. Certainly bass guitar, we'll try it into it. But also, I have got this is the little arrangement for tonight. This is the RD8 from a Behringer, which is obviously 808 clone. And I've also got the Volca kick here as well. So these things could be quite interesting to try them with some distortion. However, I haven't used the RD8 in a long time, and I can't get anything out of the main outputs for the life of me. So we'll have a look. At the moment, I'm tapping out the kick and the snare on the. This has got individual outputs, so we're tapping those out, and we're running this in as like a 2-channel. Almost like it's just like 2 different effects, because in and out sort of thing. So we got the snare here on this channel, and we got the kick on this channel, and they're both very different from each other. Now, if you're wondering, yes, you can gang them. You can, if you plug into, I think it's input 2, then that sums and comes out of output 1. So input 2 can come out of output 1 as well as the 2 distortions. Right, hang on, let me try and do that again, make it a bit clearer. Okay, so 2 channels can be independent input and output, but input 2 normals across to output 1. If you want to reverse that order, then it's a case of just patching the output of output 1 into input 2. I think it's that way around. I'm pretty sure it is. Which seems slightly counter. You'd think it might be the other way, but that's the way it is. Mind you, I think most people's pedal chains, they kind of go this way. You plug into the right and then take the output from the left. So I think that's probably the reasoning. You come into input 1 and then you come out of come in at input 2 and come out of output 1 for both. So that means you can gang them, so you can have both on at the same time. But the way this is set up at the moment, though, is they are as individual effects, almost like, as I say, as though they're 2 pedals. Okay, so what's different about the 2 channels? Well, channel 1 is a germanium distortion, and with simple just level and distortion, but also it's got this transient boost, okay, which goes from off, and then it's got 3 modes, 1 to 3. So the Double Trouble was designed, I think, initially as a drum machine distortion. So it's 24 volts, so it's very high headroom for a distortion pedal. And I think the gain ranges are quite large as well. So it can handle high headroom things, or certainly line level. But it's also very good with just like guitar level too. So we'll we'll have a little play around with that. God, I'm hot and bothered. The reason I'm hot and bothered is I can't get the output out of the drum machine, the main mix output. So I was in a bit of a panic trying to get it out ready in time. So yeah, don't know why that is. Maybe it all will be revealed and we'll figure it out. I'm just checking the chat room just to say hello to everybody. Lovely to see the gang in tonight. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you taking time out to join me. It's it means the world to me. Thank you so much. Okay, so well, obviously we're going to want to listen to it, but before we do, I've just gone through this first distortion. As I say, its superpower, if you will, is its transient boost. Okay, so that transient boost, if you've ever used transient shapers or plugins, or maybe an SPL, you know, that thing where you put just a bit of extra attack really gives percussive elements a kind of punch. And if you've ever tried, I'm sure many of you have, putting a drum machine through a guitar pedal, you can get really nice grungy sounds, but it flattens all the transients. So this transient boost is definitely of its special kind of drum machine sort of focus. But as Rich Hilton said on the show on Sonic Talk earlier, you know, if you were using it with guitar, then that is going to bring out pick attack as well. So we'll have a look at that, because that is a very cool feature of it. Okay, so that's this one channel. Channel 2 is not sure if it's like clipping diode or something. It's a different type of distortion. I'm not sure what type of distortion it is. I should look that up, but it's not a germanium distortion. I think that is just the one on channel 1, with an amount of distortion and a level. Okay, but its special power, it's got a peak filter, and the peak filter can be switched either pre or post distortion, and that makes a huge difference to the tone. And it's enabled with a switch. We can see the LED illuminated there when it's engaged. Similarly, when these ones are engaged. Yeah. Now, to use this live or on a pedal board, those switches are very close to the. I'm like a stompy elephant on stage, so I'd be really kind of nervous that I would knock those switches. But I think, you know, with a bit of deft toe work, you could do it. But I think it might excel as a desktop distortion. Because like this peak filter, then, as I say, you can switch it in. The peak filter, it's like a fixed resonance peak. And then you can sweep that around. And as we hear now, in a moment, as I start doing some audio demos, that can really drastically change the tone. Okay. So of course, if you were just running one input and using, you know, stacking them, then this peak filter happens at the first distortion stage, and then that feeds through into the second distortion stage. As I say, if you want to do it the other way around, you have to just patch it, you know, so which is fair enough. Okay, I'm just going to get a drink a moment. Tonight's drink is the Common or Garden San Miguel. Probably brewed in the UK, I would expect, because, you know, when you're in Spain and you have a proper nice chilled San Miguel, it's so nice. I'm always disappointed with it in Britain. Yes, apologies to those non-drinkers, but nice cold beer when you're hot and bothered. Cheers, everybody. Got no flat surface for the drink. Right then, so we can hear things. Well, so it's going to sound a little bit stark, because all we're going to be listening to is the kick and drums out of this pattern. So let's get something on. Right, just a quick explanation of what's happening in signal level. I've actually got my looper just out of sight, just above here, and that's sending out MIDI to this, and then through MIDI through out to this. So initially, let's just focus on the kick and the snare, and I might just do it so we can do try both distortions on the kick first. So I might just put it as a single channel. Uh-oh. That ain't a good place. That ain't a good place. That is asking for trouble. I think I'm just going to have to drink this before, because I can't put it down anywhere, or only put it down in really dodgy places. Right. So let's get something. Okay. Let's just work with this for a moment. So we're listening to it dry, and let's have a little play with the tone so we can brighten up the kick there, make it decay longer, shorter, bright, darker. So I'll put it, let's have that kick working at 12 then. Okay. Just going to mute out the, let's just take the snare out for a moment. Just work with the kick. Right. Okay, so I've got the peak filter out. And let's just have a listen to sort of just what the character of this distortion sounds like. So if you have distortion on 0, then you can kind of use this as a bit of a boost, I think. Clean-ish boost. Okay, I think, let's just see. Yeah. So that's kind of useful, the fact that no distortion, you've got a kind of clean tone. Let's just start feeding in this distortion circuit now. I'm going to back off the level. Backing off the level. Let's try a bit more. Oh yeah, see, it's getting, there we go. So actually at the 12 o'clock of the kick and 12 o'clock of the distortion sounds like that. Let's go even more. Let's just max out the distortion. Yeah. So you're probably noticing that there is still an awful lot of low end when you kick it in. Let's just back that off a minute. Yeah, see, that's cool. We're not losing that low end off there now, which is nice. Yeah, it's a cool kick distortion, that is. I love the low end on that. That's really pleasing. Okay, but let's get to the funky stuff. Let's switch this in now. This is the peak filter now. Switch it out. So it really changes the character, makes it. That's high. Let's dial it so it's really picking out the. Let's try it post now. Oh, listen to that now. How different. So it needs a little, add a bit extra level, I think, to it. All analog. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Oof, sorry. Oh god, yeah, wow. Hang on. Just try to find sort of sweet spots with it. Okay. So as I said, I'm going to switch it out. So if I just pull out the output 2. Oh, actually, let me just turn the volume down before I do that. So now this should be input 1 coming out, oh, output 1. Input 2, sorry. Yeah, let's turn that up. No, oh, maybe it's the other way around. Hang on. I'm still holding this in my hand. Lager's a funny one. If it's not cold or really properly chilled, it's not a very nice drink. I read recently that lager, the word lager, comes from the process of lagering, which is the cold brewing. It's chilled in the brewing process, hence lagering, which doesn't really make much. I don't really understand what that means. But what am I doing now? So I'm coming. Oh yeah, I need to take input 1 out. That's what I need to do. Yeah, of course. Let's just take that one out. So now, yeah, there we go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's funny little book. Yeah, so the pre and post is huge. How much that affects the tone. But now, as I say, I've got another distortion at the end of it that I can put on. So let's try that. Let's bring the level of it down. Ooh. I'm getting a bit bored of this kick button. Let's... tempo down so I kick on its own. It's not the most exciting thing. Let's just drop the tempo down a bit. Okay, so now I'll take out, let's just have a listen to, we'll just listen to the effect of this germanium distortion. Oh, that's nice. I think I prefer that on the kick. Oh, that's sweet, isn't it? So I'm kind of thinking the order would be better reversed on this, putting this then into distortion 2, and maybe the peak filter then would take on a different character. But before we do that though, we're going to listen to the different transient boosts that we can do. So really boring musical, this kick thing going on, but just going to tune that kick down a little bit. Transient boost, here we go. Mode 1, mode 2, mode 3. Let's just squeeze that a bit more. That's quite subtle on the way that is. Hang on. Let's just try and crank this a little bit more, give ourselves a bit more level to work with. Oh yeah, you can hear. Yeah, you can kind of like hear the needle attack. There. Yeah, you can. That's kind of putting, and even more so. So I think our 3 levels there are just different sort of degrees of it, with 3 being the most pronounced. Difference between 1 and 2 there is not huge on that. Sorry, between off. I think on number 2 seems to work quite nice there. I get... Okay. Let's stack them now. I'll bring the other distortion in now. the filter is off. Yeah, interesting. Okay, so with it off, it does sound, you can definitely get a more kick shape. See now there. Yeah, you can, more punch there, isn't it? Okay, let's try all of the goodies all at once. So we're going to turn on the peak filter. Oops. So levels are, so it's very interdependent. All the knobs are very interdependent on each other. So you do have to kind of be mindful. In this case, this top level here is like our master volume. Okay, so that's the kicks kind of going that way. So yeah, try shorter decay now with it off. And there's our, that's our dry kick now. That's just the one distortion. I do like that. That is really nice. Without. Oh yeah. That is cool. I think I'll take the tone down on the machine, on the drum machine. Yeah, that's wicked. Yeah, nice. Okay, enough of this. Let's try some. Oh no, I think I'll just try switching the order. I went to put this down. It's just too risky. I've got to invest in a drinks table. Do you know, the whole kind of going to Superbooth saga. We just got offered a gig with the Pop Dungeon on what would be the second day of Superbooth. And I'm off on tour on what is the third day of Superbooth. So getting out to Superbooth and flying back and then going up to do the gig on this, it's just impossible. It's just impossible. So I think I have to not go now to Superbooth. Oh, it's so annoying. It's so annoying. I thought I still might be able to do it if I can make it work. I'm going on tour with a different act as well, so I'd have to fly back, do the one gig, it's a big gig as well, and then come back and then go off on tour for nearly 2 weeks. So I'm going to get all my gear and all my touring gear ready. It just might be a bit too tough. Oh, I think I might not. I just think I have to maybe just admit I can't go to Superbooth this year. But I can't complain because I've got good work on. These gigs are good. They're like proper gigs. Anyway, right. Yeah, I really want to go to Superbooth. Yeah, this class, I've just saw that class is designed to be knocked over. Yeah, with the narrow bass there, it's prone to go over. I see. Oh, Dan Welbeck was looking forward to seeing me at Superbooth. Oh, I don't know. What can I do? I'll see if I can make it work. But it's just like, it's one of them things. It's sort of like the gigging part is my kind of professional, or supposedly professional. Yeah, me. You know what I'm saying? Superbooth. I dream of Superbooth. I love Superbooth. I think it's amazing. On Sonic Talk today, one of the small little features was about some archive footage that they've uploaded from 2003, and it's really interesting to watch some of it. One of the things that's quite funny is seeing, the great, amazing Mr. Andreas Schneider doing like a kind of NAMM, like a kind of little whistle stop tour over some of the cool new things at NAMM, and just seeing him with that brilliant energy that he's got back then, it's really cool. He's such an asset to the music tech community, is Mr. Schneider. Really is. It's just lovely seeing him almost 19 years ago, still having that same kind of irresistible energy. Okay. I'm trying not to be like a pig and glug. Pigs. Do pigs drink beer? They probably would if you... I'd probably like it as well, knowing pigs. I found a slow worm in the kitchen today, which was interesting. I thought it was dead at first. I just touched it gently with my toe, and it was like rigid, like a stick. I was thinking, God, it's like rigor mortis or something. But it must have been kind of bracing itself, because then I saw its little tongue come out, and then I saw it starting to slither. But when I was just gently tapping it to see if it was dead, I think one of the cats had brought it in. But it was fine, and I released it back to the wild. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful creature. Not a snake, but a legless lizard. So maybe that likes drinking then, being legless. See what I did there? Right, okay. Oh, Carl, made your day last year speaking with me. That's a really sweet thing to say. Thank you very much. Yeah, it was really nice, wasn't it? I mean, it wasn't really that long ago either. It was September. But it really is. I know I go on and on and on and on about Superbooth, but it truly is just a phenomenal event. I want to go, because I think they've developed the outside aspect of it even more this year, and that was so good last year. The way the bungalow area, and just it just worked so well. Anyway, slow worms. I like metal. Yeah, it was a really beautiful creature, lovely creature. I hope it was okay. I mean, I let it go into a pretty, I think it seemed like a suitable habit. I did read up a little bit on them. They are protected species in Britain. So I tried telling that to my cats, but did they listen? No. Right. Okay, beer and glass gone. Sorry about that. However, I am now hydrated and feel ready for the next step, which what we're going to do then is switch it over. So I'm going to patch. Let's just get a little patch cable and patch that. So we're going to come out. Yeah. So this time we're coming out of output 1, and then I'm patching out of output 2. I'm patching out of output 1 into input 2. Yeah. There we go. So this is just to see what difference it is flowing from left into right this time. And see, saying boring kick pattern. Let's try seeing what that sounds like. Let's take them out. There's our nice dry classic 8080 kick. Okay, so let's try this. I guess this is just going to be the same as it was, but yeah, so we'll have to have both on. Okay, so now this is our output level here. Oh, interesting. it's more pronounced now, isn't it? Or the filter, the peak filter. Yeah, that's in the pre now. That's much more effective, isn't it? Switch it to post. Big level drop. That filter now, so let's compensate for that here. God, these patterns do my head in. Actually, why don't we just keep this fairly simple? Let's just go flat 4 on the floor. Oops. What's going on? Oh yeah. All right. Here we go. Just keep it like that. Let's speed things up a little bit. Tempo. Let's go up to 120. Why not? Okay. Back it down. Okay. That's going back to pre on here then. Different transient boosts. No transient boost. All off. Yeah. Oh, it's really interesting. I think it's cool. So I think it might be time to move over to the snare now. I'll do this much quicker now with the snare. Let's so switch this out. Oh, I'll tell you what. I'll leave that routine the same, and I'll just switch over. I'll keep this order, this patched order first, and then switch it back. Okay, so let's go here. Let's get some snare action. Snare, okay. Yeah. And there's our standard 808 snare, of course, with a snappy down, snappy all the way up. The pedal is off. And then let's change that camera a little bit. Okay. Right. Okay, so that peak filter, yeah, that's really much more, well, obviously, yes, kind of seems more sensitive with that snare kind of sound. Post, yes, the post seems to lose a lot of gain, doesn't it, compared. Max the distortion out. Let's just try taking the tone down a little bit on the machine. Okay, let's bring in the other channel now. Let's try the other channel. Ooh, they're so different sounding. These two distortions, they really are completely different circuits, and it sounds so different, doesn't it? Okay, so transient boost. I think this is going to be much more pronounced with the snare. Okay, so we've got quite a juicy bit of sort of distortion on there without. Yeah, try and match the gains a little bit more. Yes, crushing the snare. Nice, that is. So let's try this transient boost then. Oh, I'm trying to do my hand in the way. got much brighter there, doesn't it? And even brighter again from 3 to off. I'll try 2 again. 2 seems to be the sweet spot, doesn't it? Although, in fact, might be a bit too much for that snare. This is on 1. That's off. They're really subtle between off and 1. I think that's maybe, let's just give that a bit more level, a bit more distortion. Sorry. There we go. I've never seen a transient boost before on a distortion pedal, so that's a very curious and kind of interesting addition, really. Okay, so right, I'm going to switch the order around now. I don't know if this is that necessary. Sorry. What I'll do is I'll get the kick and the snare going at the same time. So the kick into one channel and snare into the other. So let's just sort that out. Let's set that up. Just going to... so we come out of the kick. We'll do away with our little patch. We'll do away with our little patch cable. And this camera's drifting a little bit. Okay. Let's just do that. Okay, so what we got? Right. So we got kick coming into this one and snare coming into this one, which I think is probably going to give us the best results. Okay, let's just disengage them first, bringing that in. Okay, I'm just going to put a few more snares in, I think. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's dead cool. Because, of course, you know, if we just brack the distortions down, we can make it much more subtle. Off. On. This, I take the peak filter off, then it's really thumpy there on the kick, isn't it? Peak filter in. You just do have to do a little bit of level balancing, don't you? Yeah, so I need to, let's just drive it harder into the filter. Yeah, I like this. And it's, you know, it's got that absolute analog quality to it. I have heard good digital distortion, but I'm never 100% convinced. I always feel that analog distortion always feels a little more three-dimensional somehow. You know, whether I'd actually be able to tell in a like a double blind listening thing, you know, with some really good distortion. But I think generally what I find is that with like digital distortion, you have to kind of, I don't know, sometimes you end up looking for something, whereas analog distortion kind of gives it you straight away. It gives the thing that you're looking for straight away, and then you can shape it to your, you know, to what you want, but the essence of it is there straight away. Whereas with digital distortion, not always sure. There are amazing digital distortions though, so I'm not too hung up on that, but I do think there is something about analog distortion though. think the modeling, digital modeling, has got things down so good. But I still wonder whether there's just something about distortion, and the combination is just analog distortion and filter. It's just something I just don't know if digital just quite has the kind of hair on it that just, I don't know. Yeah. Let's just have a look on the chat room, see what you're saying. Trailer to the Living says he uses an analog heat or a rat on their drum machine. And Wagyu uses the Sherman filter bank. Oh my goodness, I had one of them briefly. Wow, cool things. Yeah, nice. So just in case you're joining me, either after the fact, broadcast live on a Wednesday. Try to do it most Wednesdays when I can. 8 p.m. BST, British Summertime, or 8 p.m. GMT normally. Normally, I always get confused about that. I think we are BST now. And if you're watching live, it is 18 minutes to 9 in the UK. Yeah. What I'm going to do. Right. Okay, this is a bit boring. Sorry. I just want to do this thing, just as I say, this Double Trouble from SCAT. And it says Cherry Designs there as well, so I don't know if it's whether that's a collaboration, but SCAT, Space Cat Audio Technologies. And I've been looking on their website, and they've got some really funky, cool looking stuff that they make. Yeah, as I say, I think because this is coming from a slightly different place than you'd normally expect for a pedal, perhaps then I might just try some bass guitar through it. Actually, let's just do a bit of that first, because that's really something really close to my heart. And I hope Dan is still in the chat room, or maybe I hope he's not in the chat room, Dan Welbeck, because on my pedal board, I use his Moog Distortion, and I'm a huge fan of it. I can't believe the clarity and the cut that gives. Although I don't imagine I would use this on a pedal board, or maybe on an experimental pedal board, but not on my regular pedal board. Just as I say, I think it might just be a little bit, I think I would like even just, the distance between that knob and here, when you're treading on it, it's, I don't know. Yeah. However, the Moog Distortion that I use is a hardy beast, and I've stomped on that many a time now. But it's a funny one when you use distortion live on a bass guitar. Getting it right is really difficult. I've gone through so many distortions, bass distortions over the years, like bass big muffs, and I've still got a bunch of them here. Actually, I'll fetch a funny one out. The Fender Sublime, is absolutely humongous pedal. It's huge. I did have this on my pedal board for quite a while, and it's great fun. I do like it, but it's just too big. Your pedal board space, as everyone knows, is like kind of London real estate. It's so valuable, your real estate, and something this big. I'll just give you some perspective. Is a Boss pedal. What's that? 1, 2. That's 3 Boss pedals, really. And height. So, yeah. But I really like this. It's just too big. Just too damn big. What this does, though, in order to keep your low end in, there is a crossover, so you can kind of just keep your low end intact. The low end comes through, and then you can mix the distortion in. And this huge big knob here is so you can tread on it and adjust that by twisting it with your foot, and that sort of adjusts the. I think that adjusts the mix level between your dry signal, but your dry signal, that's when the crossover is. So it's not really dry. It's like a filtered signal. So you get all your low end, and then you can just bring in your distortion with the foot, and it's pretty cool. But it's just too big. Oh yeah. I was going to compare it to one of these, Electro-Harmonix pedals as well, just for. Yeah. Oh, I have got some cool distortions here, but the Moog is the one that made the cut really for the pedal board, and that's because, as I say, it just you can dial in this. It's a 4-band distortion, and you can dial in the low band, and it really is nice and deep and thick. So your lows are all in that. It doesn't use like a blend. It's just everything, but it's 4. Well, I suppose it is in a way, because you've got 4 different distortion circuits that are all kind of crossed over. But yeah, fantastic distortion. I realized something as well. This bass, I've never really shown this bass to you guys properly, and this bass is super special. It really is. It's a Waghorn, built by Mr. Tom Waghorn here in Bristol, and it is a oh, there's my magma badge there. So this camera angle isn't great for the bass, but this thing is a handmade one-off based on a Gibson RD Artist. Yeah, it's a little bit more elegant, actually. The body shape, it's a little bit more, and it's it's got these beautiful recessed little bits where the switches live and where these live, and it has amazing electronics on it. So I'll show you that, because it is interesting. Well, I think it's interesting. This is an absolute tone monster. I got the wrong lens on for this. I'm so sorry. This isn't a very good. I can't get the full thing into this too. Yeah. Yeah. But this thing has got a really fantastic preamp and pickup thing, which I will explain, because even if you're not particularly into guitars, you'll like this. I hope. Right, I'm just setting up that now. So I'm plugged in. Oh, it's drifting again. I'm plugged into input 2, and I'm coming out of output 1. As I say, I think it's slightly confusing, because you'd expect it maybe plug into input 1, come out of output 2, but yeah, it's flowing from right to left. Okay, so let's have a look if I've got some sound, and then we'll have a play with this incredible instrument. Ooh, sorry. I'll let you see the neck. Okay, let me just dial everything in. Okay, I think I need to do a different camera angle for this. But what we got here is we've got cutoff and resonance for this pickup, cutoff and resonance for this pickup, and prior to the signal hitting those filters, it actually hits a high pass and a level control here. So the signal kind of hits this, and then gets a signal going to the two filters. So if I turn the level of the high pass filter all the way off, that sort of essentially bypasses the high pass, which I'll do that initially, and then let's see if I can do it like this. Mark King, eat your heart out. Okay, let's get a bit more gain going on. Get a little bit more input level as well. Which one? Black. Okay, so it's got a beard cut out. Yes, nice. See, this bit is the most polished part of the bass, you see. Just gets right. I'll see if I can without changing, if I can have a little sort of step or something, I can get up so you can see. I'll try and do it like this if I can, though. Okay. And I've got a pickup blend control here. So when it's center notches, it's both pickups, but I'll put it on the front pickup, maximum gain. And what I'll do is here, turn. I'll put it on the front pickup. And this is like the resonance. It's only slightly resonant, but oops. You can hear a little bit of sweeping. So you can make your front pickup. So I'm using that really, or even lower. It's a really nice filtered. Now, I go on to the back pickup, and this time I'll make the back pickup a bit more honky. And then I can blend in both together. So I can get this, it's a really, but I did get this modded because to use it live, there's such a lot of tonal variety there that, and it uses two 9-volt batteries as well. And when I bought it, it only worked active, but I had it modded with this switch so I can actually put it into a passive mode. And then in a passive mode, all of this filter action, everything is bypassed. And in fact, the only control when it's in passive, see the volume controls, all of that is all part of the preamp circuit. So when I put it in passive mode, the only control I've got is this switch, which switches between the outer coils, the inner coils, or all the coils, which is about the most subtle. But that's the only controls I've got. But when I've been using this live with the Charlotte Church Pop Dungeon, I'd mostly just use it passively and then do all the tonal shifting with my pedal board. But when I use this on studio sessions, then obviously that's when this sort of active stuff comes in, really into its own. Now, I mentioned I was using it with the two filters there. Both coils. Here's a little anecdote for you non-bass players, or for you for everybody, for bass players and non-bass players. On Saturday just gone, I played a gig with Rumbelows, the surf band I play in, and I use a bass called a Reverend Rumblefish, which is a really cool mid-90s handmade American bass that's got a very kind of surfy look to it. Amazing. Only 6 built in black like this, so it's super rare, and it's a great sounding bass, slightly hollow body. It's a cool bass, but I use that with that band almost exclusively. But on Saturday just gone, I decided to use my Rickenbacker, which has got a single coily kind of vibe to it. Beautiful bass, but I had never used it with that particular band, and it was really nice, very defined notes. But when I dug in for the meat, really driving hard, it didn't deliver that kind of oomph that the other one does, and it made me think a little bit about how we're sort of generating waveforms, the waveforms coming from the pickups. With the Rumblefish, I've got a kind of humbucker, which is it's a really thick sounding humbucker, and you can really drive hard into it, and you get this really solid low end coming from it. With the Rickenbacker, the harder I drive with it, the more pointier the notes are. So it's just kind of interesting, just how your dynamics are shifting the spectral content that's coming out of the guitar. Yeah, so needless to say, next time we play, I'm going to use the Rumblefish. It's just, people sometimes say, why have you got so many guitars? Accusing me of having too many guitars. And I'm like, yeah, but if I was a plumber and I opened my cupboard and I shown you all my kind of plumber's tools, and there was all these different wrenches for different, you'd be impressed. You'd go, okay, you're a good plumber. You've got all the right tools for the different kind of jobs that you'll do. That's my excuse for having lots of guitars. That they really do have such a different personality. That, with that band, the Rumbelows, I use that bass, the Reverend Rumblefish, because it's just right. There's a lot of, really simple kind of first, fifth sort of bass lines, and it's got a really big bloom to the notes. So I kind of don't want to play too fancy, too twiddly. It kind of forces you to sort of just really work with these big fat notes a little bit more. The Rickenbacker really kind of lends itself to melodicism because these more pointed notes, more defined sort of attack shapes to them almost. So I use that for my band Rocket Gold Style, where there's these quite intricate lines, and the Rickenbacker works just great for that. Anyway, I digress somewhat. So then, I've got my 2 filters on, so I'm filtering out. So now I can bring in that other circuit with the high pass filter. So I turn the level of that up, and then, so look, if I, so you've got all of that nice, take it out, bring it back in again, so you get more of a kind of string sound through it with it off, with it in. So the combination of these 3 different filters gives you an enormous range. But it is fiddly. It's fiddly because small tiny adjustments can especially amplify through, you know, big system. Anyway, that was all a little bassy digression, so apologies for you synth heads who kind of were switching off or just about to switch off. It's all the same stuff really, isn't it? Okay, well, we're here to hear the distortion, aren't we? Alright, let's have a look. Let's have a go. Let's have a play. Let's try the germanium first. No transient boost. Take the distortion up. Oh, I know what I want to hear. If I turn the distortion off, I can use this as just a clean preamp channel. Resonances up on here. Without the switch then. So actually, just clipping my input there a little. That's quite nice. It's always nice to be able to get a nice clean tone. Bringing in a bit of distortion, back off the level a bit. Just try with that transient boost in now. There. Oh yeah. Okay, I can hear. Is way too much on that. Let's just get a plectrum. One moment. Ooh, what's that noise? Just taking my vocal mic out a moment. Let's see what this. Just get a little bit of noise. Take my vocal mic out. Loud there, but yeah, it really does. Rich Hilton was right, actually. That was definitely get a really nice pick attack there. Okay, let's just max this out now. Have a little bit of that transient boost, but with a feels a bit too pokey, too much resonance maybe. Out for a moment. Yeah, so like the headroom on this, I have to play really hard to get it to distort. Sound on this particular bass. Let's try combining them. Well, it's getting quite noisy now. The noise isn't from the... I think this bass is being a little bit noisy, and I think just cranking up so much gain on here is adding to that. I think the Double Trouble though is actually very quiet noise wise compared to most distortion pedals because of this 24 volt input. Bass. So yeah, I guess it's got a lot of tones. I haven't quite found the sweet spot for me just yet with this, the distorted tone, but I think through a loud amp it would be such a different kind of such a different kettle of fish, really. You know, getting where's that high. Okay, enough of that. So yeah, I guess it does work really nicely though with bass. I especially like the sort of semi-clean tones of it, and I think I prefer the germanium, this side of it on the bass. On and then obviously combining it with the two. I will come back to that on a different time. But okay, let's put this bass away. Thank you for humouring me with my bass, because I do love this one. Tom Waghorn, phenomenal guitar luthier working out of Bristol. Hopefully gonna work with him at some point. Right. Why won't this stay? I'm just going to tighten this stand up a moment. Sorry, everyone. stuff to do. Yeah, so let's try this then with the Volca kick. I think that'll be the next thing to try. Okay, let's get some sound up. I gotta say, this Volca kick is, I think it's probably the most underrated of all the Volcas. I mean, this does have its own drive circuit built in, so that'll give us something to... Of course, slightly out of shot here, but if I just... Sorry about the camera angles tonight. It's not ideal, but this is the MS-20 resonator. That's super cool. So that's our drive control maxed out on the... So I think it needs a little bit of that, the drive. Without any, just lacks a little bit of substance, but we'll try combining it with our double trouble. So actually with this drive it'll be triple trouble. Okay, let's try bringing this one in. Just bring the level off. Oh yeah, you can hear that transient boost really working without it. There with it. That's handy in a distortion. Yeah, off. See, it's missing the front, isn't it, when you turn it off? There it is. There is a little, actually, you do have that on the Volca kick. If I turn the level up, it does have its own... It's called a pulse on here, I think. Yeah, that's without it. This is the Volca's kind of transient shaper, I suppose. There we go. So actually, if I turn our transient boost off and then put the distortion in, yeah, that's still kind of cutting through a bit there, but I could... There we go. Add more to it there. Just drop the... There we are. Oh yeah. Let's bring in this one now. Oh yeah, we're getting really gnarly there, aren't we? Yeah, the transient boost clearly goes too much when we go up on there. Back off the pulse a little bit. Wow, you can hear that kind of... Switch this filter in. Post. Yeah. quite ingenious, this S-Cat double trouble. I think there's a lot of potential with it. So you take the transient boost out, it really does make a difference, doesn't it? Filter. Wow. Okay. Now, transient boost is really sensitive in this scenario, isn't it? You can hear from off to the mode 1 a lot clearer. Oh, that's a Germanium fuzz, turning that up now. Oh yeah, come on. Oh my god, that's cool. I mean, it's bringing in, obviously I'm cranking things up so it's getting a bit dirty, noisy. Wow. Sorry about this constant 4 on the flooring with a lack of anything else, but oof. Oh yeah, there is tone options galore here. Wow. I love this. I think this is a really interesting and useful distortion. Great studio distortion. Okay. Turn up the decay. Hey, right, nice. Space Cat Audio Technologies are with us. Oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong one. Decay. Where's our decay? Here we go. Oh, yeah. All right. They know what they're talking about. Whoa. Yeah. Holy, look at that. Transient boost change now. Wow. Oh my god, that is cool. Woohoo! Wow. Oh my gosh. Make a GABA track. What tempo is GABA? Oof. Right. Oh. Okay. This is cool. This is a very cool distortion. Yeah. So, if you have just joined, or in the last however long, we're looking at the S-Cat Double Trouble, which is this dual distortion, made in England by Space Cat Technologies in, I guess, collaboration with Cherry Design. So I think we have someone from Space Cat in our chat room. So yeah, I wonder what that Cherry Designs thing is. You know, that's quite interesting. If that's something that you could maybe explain, if this is a collaboration. I'm kind of curious. But yeah, these two very different sounding distortions, both with a little superpower. The transient boost on this side, the germanium side, and then this peak filter on the other side. And then the fact that you can sort of have them in series as well is really cool. I'm looking forward to trying a whole load of things through it. I wonder if I do then from the MS-20. Let's just try and make that. Let's put a little Let's just put a little tune into the MS-20. Sorry, not the MS-20. Not the MS-20. The Korg Volca kick, featuring an MS-20 filter. Cap what, 265 BPM? Well, okay. I don't know what. I don't think I can go that fast with this. Let's see. I can go up to, yes I can. 246 BPM. Oh my goodness. Sequence on. Since this is just using wow. Yeah. Wow. So I'm really digging this distortion. I think this is a truly interesting, unique distortion. I've not experienced anything quite like it. I think it's really versatile. You know, like, I know it was a bit boring earlier when I was playing with my bass, but I actually, a lot of the time, I do quite like a very clean and just a hair of distortion. And because it's got that huge 24-volt headroom, then, you know, you can really dig in at times to get the notes to sort of burn a little bit more. So that'll work really nicely. But I mean, I think it does excel in its role here, especially that's worked really nicely together with the Volca kick for just extreme evil. But I'm reckoning that it would also be super cool with I think it would be super cool with my UDO Super 6. That's something I might have to do in a future episode. Because the Super 6 always sounds very classy. You can't really make it sound really dirty. So I think the two together would be quite interesting. I'm also quite interested to see what would happen if you ran it as a stereo. So you've got the germanium fuzz on one side and then the other distortion on the other side to get like a kind of pseudo stereo, and then just sort of adjust them a little bit to get them more or less the same. Mike George says it reminds him a little bit of the Biscuit. I think that's from Otto, isn't it? The Biscuit. Wagyu saying Super 6 is a massive sweet spot. Yes, it is a massive sweet spot. Totally, that is super cool. Yeah, it is. It's yes. Oh, that's another sweet spot. Yes, it is. However, yeah, it doesn't really do gnarly distortion, so that might be quite cool. Also, running it into it in stereo might be kind of like interesting. You'd have to really balance the levels to keep that sort of stereo image, but just with the two different distortions. Certainly that would be quite cool, I think, with a mono synth, playing like a lead line and just have sort of the two different sounds in the left and right channels. So Supercat Audio saying it takes a few visits with the distortion. It gets better every time. I absolutely, I completely would. Well, this is my first go. Just to reiterate, everyone, this is my first go with it now. So, I just wanted to capture that kind of first experience with it. Because of that interactivity between it all, I can imagine just there being, really kind of figuring out, once you use it more, some really nice go-to spots with it. But yeah, I want to thank SCAT Space Cat Audio Technologies for sending one through to me. That was a really, really nice thing to receive today, and I am going to explore this quite a bit more. So thanks everybody for joining me. I mean, it's been a bit. I hope it hasn't been. Mono synth. Oh man, can I set up? Well, I suppose the Volca kick is a mono synth of a sort, really. Albeit a bit of a it's just I've got one last little playthrough out with it. More audio destruction. Okay. This is just using the kicks drive. Wow. Plenty of level available. Post on the peak filter really does make a huge difference. You do have to, in the post, dial up the level though, as they are quite different levels, just to A/B between. And that germanium just sounds brilliant, doesn't it? transient boost. Yeah. 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 What a very cool distortion indeed. Yes. So, all right, I'm going to finish now. Thank you ever so much, everybody. Sorry for lack of actual any music of any value tonight. As I say, just wanted to take a look at this whilst it was absolutely super fresh for me to have a look at. And I've enjoyed it very much, and I can't wait to try it on more things. And thank you to Space Cat Audio Technologies, not only for sending it over, but also for joining in the chat tonight as well. Thank you so much. Really nice to see you there. And so I believe it is available for 189 UK pounds. Probably best go to the website, I guess, to see how that translates to wherever you're from in the world. Yeah, it is built. It's built really nicely, though. It feels super solid, full metal casing. You know, as I say, these switches and the proximity of that to the switches would make me a little bit nervous using it live. However, and also just the amount of tweakability with it as well. Although I'm sure once you do start to know where the sweet spots are, getting back to any particular tone, I don't think would be too hard. But yeah. Okay, thanks everyone. Great, thanks for your nice comments as well. Not sure if I'm going to be back next week. I will give an update, maybe on Twitter if you follow me there. If you don't follow me on Twitter, please do, for the occasional rant or nonsense that I share there. And yeah, big love everyone. Thanks so much. Feel incredibly fortunate to be in such a position to have such cool things like the Double Trouble find their way to me. Any manufacturers out there who do want to feature their things on the shows, then yeah, please get in touch, because you know, it is something great to be able to have super cool things like this to demonstrate. And I'm sure the Double Trouble will be coming back in an episode in the very near future, along with some other things. I think I'd like to try this with I've got an analog delay and I've got an analog phaser, both of which sound fantastic, and I reckon that the combination of those three, maybe along with a monosynth as well, will be something that I'd like to do. So that's something that I will do. In fact, I will do that. I will commit to that in a show in the near future. In the meantime, let's just see what we can do as a play out. Okay, thanks everyone once more. It's a bit of a weird tune to go out on, but there we go. All right, everyone. Thanks a lot. See you soon. Big love. Yeah.